Hello everyone, I'm Dawn. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for visiting with me today. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel, The Cutting Board. We do all kinds of stuff here. We do true crime, chit chat, food content, just all kinds of stuff. Hauls, reviews, DIY, SFX makeup, regular makeup, and most importantly, at least to me, Disney content. I have a lot of interests and I want to share them with you. So in this video, we need to talk some more about this one truthfully Trisha nightmare. She has latched on to the anti-Gypverse, trying to pretend she cares anything at all about Dee Dee. Please do not buy into this. She does not care. She is trying to make a name for herself, okay? She has been trying to do this for at least 10 years. She's been trying this for a long time. Tens of thousands of her YouTube subscribers were bought by her. They're not real. You can tell by looking at her account. She is desperate and is using the Gypsy Rose machine to try and get fame, since nothing else has worked for her so far. She is insane. She is Lulu. She makes Fancy look like the absolute voice of reason. Actually, I don't think Fancy's been that bad lately, but yeah, she makes Fancy look like the voice of reason. But I have a story to share about her. But before we get into that, I want to go over several clips. This is from Straight Outta Context. Thank you, Barbara, for your hard work. But here we go.
Hey, Bree, you and your cult is going to come after me? You messed with the wrong one, sister. Or brother. I think you're more like brother.
I am the walrus cuckoo cachoo. Cuckoo Crazy Eyes thinks she's funny. She's not. She thinks she's something to behold. She's not. Now, I am in no way ever defending Bree or her cult. But to go after Trish, that's the right thing to do. Not because she lied and claimed Blown Beauty Art is her business. Not because of that. But because she's using Dee Dee as a way to elevate herself. And some might say all of us YouTubers, all of us creators that talk about Gypsy are doing that. We're doing the same thing. I don't believe that to be true. I don't think that's the case. I think that most people doing this, most, not all, but most, are genuinely angry that Gypsy basically got away with her crime. She got away with murder. 8 years isn't shit. And we are using our voices to express frustration, the desire for change, and to demand true justice. Trish doesn't care about anybody. She doesn't care about any of that. All she cares about is Trish. And I'm not even convinced that she cares about herself all that much. Because if she did, she would seek true help for her obvious mental problems. Trisha is a leech. That's all, a leech. She is a user. Please don't buy into anything she says. Again, she is a leech.
The unaliving of Dee Dee was so vicious and so horrific.
So it's being said, and I need to do further research, but it's being said that Trisha is responsible for someone's life being ended as well. And she has allegedly taken great pride in that. So I'm looking further into that. Hopefully I'll get more information, but yeah.
You're going to sit there and you're going to simp for Little Miss Sunshine? Well, let me tell you something. Let me educate you, Bree. Man. You're simping for the wrong one. Why, she can't stand on her own 2 feet by herself because she uses people? Ha! You're funny. You're comical. You're hilarious.
This female is so whacked out. She's literally just trying to get famous off of Gypsy's back, off of Gypsy's name. Not a good look. No, I don't support Gypsy. Again, I do not. But I sure as hell don't support this beast Trisha. Not at all. Not at all. She is a monster.
So go ahead and try to simp more, but we're not buying what you're selling.
We're? No, honey boo boo. No, you are not going to lump yourself in with us, with Toddy, Conspiracy, Becca, Barbara, 1980, Into the Weeds. You're not going to do that. All of those who are anti-gypsy, if I left you out, I didn't do it on purpose. I feel confident in speaking for us all when I say, Trisha, you need to have several frickin' seats. We do not want or need you. This chick is a pariah. You're a pariah, Trisha. We don't want you. Now, let's discuss this little tidbit a lovely viewer sent me. I'm not sharing her name because I wasn't given permission to. Maybe it's okay with her, but I don't know at this point. So we're just going to talk about this. One, Patricia Curley. Patricia Curley was in an Onslow County courtroom where it was decided the conviction for simple assault would be upheld. What's that about, huh? Well, let's talk more. She was convicted of simple assault after she attacked the owner of a local auto repair shop in small claims court. What a hero. In June 2018, she brought her car to an auto repair shop owned by Mr. Sean Boggs. And all of this information is publicly available, so I feel comfortable and I feel that I can name her victim. I think it's okay. The car was repaired, and court documents state that Trish started sending threatening texts to Mr. Boggs and told him that she was not going to pay for the repairs. Oh, she wasn't going to pay for the repairs, though she did not indicate a reason why she refused to pay. Interesting. So, rightfully, Mr. Boggs refused to release the car to her. So after 10 days, the car went unclaimed because, she refused to pay for the services performed. So, she couldn't take the car back. That's how it works. And Mr. Boggs filed a mechanic's lien with the North Carolina DMV. So in North Carolina, a mechanic's lien is a legal claim against a property for unpaid work materials related to its improvement or services. Well, work services, you know what I mean. It allows contractors, subcontractors, suppliers, and others to secure payment by placing a lien on the property. This lien provides leverage to the claimant, potentially leading to foreclosure if the debt is not satisfied. Yeah, you have to pay for services provided. Trish filed a small claims grievance against the shop, which, of course, was completely bogus. It was completely bogus. She was just being an idiot. On August 6, 2018, the magistrate presiding over the small claims court case announced that the verdict, he announced the verdict in favor of the repair shop of Mr. Boggs. At that point, court documents say that Tricia lunged over from her seat and attacked Mr. Boggs by punching, clawing, and climbing on his face. Tricia was removed from the courtroom by two Onslow County deputies who said in their testimony that she was yelling and screaming as they drug her out of the court. And once outside, that's important, once they were outside, deputies say she began to kneel down on the floor and appeared to have some kind of seizure. Now note, it did not happen during the attack or inside the courtroom. That alleged seizure didn't happen until after she exited the court or was exited from the court. Remember when she collapsed on Dr. Phil? Remember that? If any of you saw that? Probably the same kind of deal. She's a petulant child. Tricia claimed that she was suffering from automatism at the time of the incident. No doubt she is a mindless automaton, but automatism, I don't think so. Very convenient. Very, very convenient. But yeah, she claimed that at the time of the incident. The assault in the court, and that she was unaware of her actions. So automatism is actions performed without conscious thought or volition. It can manifest in various contexts. In law, it's a defense where a person's actions are involuntary and not under conscious control. Convenient, huh? It's basically akin to a lower level insanity plea. Not quite the same thing, but similar. In other words, Miss Thing is full of it. She's full of it constantly. She really needs a laxative because she's so full of it. But one of the deputies testified saying that Trisha was kicking and flailing around in a seizing motion and did not appear to lose consciousness. She didn't lose consciousness. That's important to remember too. She was taken to a local hospital while Mr. Boggs waited at the courthouse in order to file a criminal complaint against Trisha. So after he filed the complaint, Mr. Boggs received his own medical treatment for gouges and scratches on him that she caused, inflicted on his head by Trisha. Yeah. So Trisha was charged with simple assault that day, and on October 25th, 2018, Judge Henry Stevens found her guilty during a bench trial in Onslow District Court and sentenced her to 30 days in jail, which were suspended. They shouldn't have been. She should have got the whole deal, and placed her on 2 years of supervised probation. It seems ridiculous. It should have been harder than that, I think. She was also ordered to pay $2,144.64 in restitution and cost and submit to a psychological evaluation. I'd love to read that report. Of course, that's protected, but yeah. Trisha's first appeal was heard on March 3rd, 2020 in Onslow County Superior Court, where Judge Stevens, now sitting as a Superior Court Justice, he heard the case, and Trisha explained that she was not guilty of attacking Mr. Boggs as the attack was unintentional and a result of a seizure. She's so incredibly full of it. Both sides presented their case, and then the court maintained the guilty verdict. And in addition to the previous sentencing, she was sentenced to serve 2 days confinement in the custody of the sheriff's department, so 2 days in jail, and she was not, obviously, to make contact with the victim, Mr. Boggs, and she was to comply with the treatment recommended by a psychologist or by a psychological evaluation. If she complied with the treatment, I don't know, but if she did, it did not take. Yeah, do-over. So this current appeal in 2021, she appealed to the state that the trial court did not inform the jury sufficiently about what automatism is, and also appealed that there were several clerical errors involving her sentencing worksheet and 2-day confinement. She's ridiculous. North Carolina Supreme Court recognizes automatism or unconsciousness as a complete defense to a criminal charge, but the defendant must establish this defense unless it is shown within the state's evidence, but she has to prove that as her defense. During Trisha's appeal, the court found that she relied solely on her own testimony and did not have an expert regarding medical evidence speak on her behalf. So, yeah, she likely didn't have a clinical diagnosis of what she wanted it to be. She can't just claim you have something. You have to prove it if you plan to use it in your defense. Shonda Vander Ark, I know this is an extreme example, but she tried the same nonsense in court. It's ludicrous. So at the time, Trisha viciously attacked Mr. Boggs like a wild animal. Trisha testified that she was standing next to her husband, with whom she claimed to be in a DV relationship with, which most people are not believing that. They're not. She's using that to mistreat him. She was the ABUSER in that marriage, as far as I'm concerned. Her husband and Mr. Boggs were arguing, at which point the husband lifted his hand in the same way he allegedly would hit Trisha, which triggered her into attacking Mr. Boggs. She's so full of it. She's so leaning on that DV. She later testified it wasn't until she awoke in the ambulance that she was informed of what happened. She awoke? She awoke in the ambulance. Yet the deputy never saw her fake, phony ass lose consciousness. But she awoke in the ambulance. Sure, Trisha. Sure. Trisha also argued that her seizure-like movements outside the courtroom also showed she did not appear to be in her right mind during the attack. However, the two deputies' testimony referring back to the day described, they described her behavior as only seizure-like and appeared to have some kind of seizure while those movements took place after she was removed from the courtroom. That's not what was happening in the courtroom. It was not during the attack that she was having this seizure. Did you hear that? The seizure-like performance didn't start until after the attack, after she was removed from the courtroom, after she realized, oh, I just assaulted this guy, I'm going to be in trouble for that. That's when it occurred. Her argument claimed that the trial court sentenced her incorrectly when ordering her to serve a 2-day jail sentence before serving probation, as she did not have any prior convictions prior to that or before the incident. She's right. They didn't correctly sentence her. She should have gotten the whole 9 yards. She should have gotten the maximum or an extended stay in a mental health facility. That's what she should have gotten. Though the trial court did not specify at the sentencing hearing whether Trisha was subjected to intermediate punishment or intermediate probation conditions, the appeals court disagreed with Trisha and ruled the court sentenced her correctly. Again, I disagree. She should have gotten the absolute maximum that they could have given her. They should have. She is a danger to society. Yes, I realize that this has taken place years ago, and she also claims that she's not the same woman that she was when she was on Dr. Phil. I agree with her on that. I do agree with that. She's way, way worse now. She's way worse. She really is. But anyway, that's it. That's all I have to share for tonight. I just wanted to get this out there. I have to go cook up some steak and peppers. So I will talk to everyone later. Bye.